Assalamualaikum everyone. Today, our team would like to present about comparison between Design Bid Build, which is DBB, and Build Operate Transfer, which is BOT, for our procurement subject. And this is our team members. What is procurement? It is the complete process a company uses to get goods or services from outside suppliers. It is much more than just standard shopping or paying for an item. Instead, it is a smart, step-by-step operation that involves planning what the company needs, finding and choosing the best suppliers, negotiating goods price and contracts, and managing the actual purchase from start to finish. Now, why is understanding procurement so vital for any organization or project? There are 4 primary drivers. First, it significantly enhances internal workflow efficiency, streamlining operations. Second, it allows organizations to rigidly control and optimize their operational costs. Third, it ensures that all purchasing frameworks are highly systematic, compliant, and well organized. And finally, it provides critical data to support better, more informed executive decision making. Now, let's look at the main objective of our presentation. We are focusing on a comparison between 2 procurement methods, Design Bid Build (DBB) and Build Operate Transfer (BOT). First, we will define the core concepts, the different phases, and the workflow for both DBB and BOT. Second, we are going to evaluate the disadvantages and advantages of each method. Third, we will compare the standard forms of contract used for both systems. Fourth, we aim to establish the selection criteria and identify the best timing to use each system. And finally, we will analyze their practical applications by looking at real-world Malaysian case study.
Thank you, Syed. So my name is Arrisha AIREEN. So it's my turn to continue about the design, bid and build.
What is design, bid, build? It is the traditional design build process where it separates design and construction, the oldest and most well-known contracting method for the construction project. Design bid build is still popular with some owners. With design bid and build, the contractor does not enter the process until after the design is complete. The drawings are put out for a competitive bid to a general contractor, and the one with the lowest price is typically awarded the project. This slide shows the contract relationship in the design build method. In this method, as you can see in the slide, the client is at the top because the client is the project owner and provides the project funding. The client has 2 separate contracts, one with the consultant and other one with the contractor. The consultant is responsible for preparing the design, drawing, specification and supervising the construction work.
The consultant can be an architect, engineer or quantity surveyor.
The contractor duties is to supply, to construct, to complete, to test based on the drawing specification. Also, there is no direct contractual relationship between the consultant and the contractor. They only communicate through the working relationship during the project. Next, we're moving on to the 3 main phases in the design build method. The first phase is the design phase. In this stage, the consultant prepares complete drawings, specification and project document based on the client's requirement. The second phase is the bidding or the tendering phase. Contractors submit their bids based on the completed design document and the client select the most suitable contractor. The final phase is the construction or the build phase. The selected contractor carry out the construction work according to the approved drawing and specification. Also, as you can see in the slide, there were key parties involved in the process, which is client, consultant, and the main contractor. This slide shows the complete work sequence in the design bid build method. The process is carried out step by step, where one stage must be completed before moving to the next stage. The first stage is the initial stage, where it focuses on the project planning and preparation before the design work begins. where it to identify project objective and client requirement, to determine project budget, to select project site, to conduct feasibility studies and start investigation. Lastly, to appoint consultants such as architect, engineer, and quantity surveyor. The second stage is design stage, where the consultant prepare the complete project design and technical document, where it develop the conceptual detailed design, prepare technical specification, and prepare bill of quantities. Next stage is the tendering stage, where the project is offered to contractor for bidding based on the completed design document, where it issue tender document to the contractor. Contractor prepare and submit bids, evaluate bids based on the price, technical capability, and experience. After that, it will select and appoint the contractor. After the contractor is selected, the construction stage begins. The selected contractor carry out the construction work according to the approved design and specification. The contractor prepare the site and mobilization, construction work, and material procurement. The final stage is commissioning and handover, where the completed project is tested and officially handed over to the owner. This slide shows the main advantage of the design bid build method. The first advantage is better work quality. Since the design is completed before the construction begins, the project documents are more detailed and accurate. This helps to reduce the construction error during the project. The second advantage is price certainty. The project cost can be estimated more accurately because the design is finalized before the tendering stage. This helps the client to control the project budget effectively. Another advantage is minimizing professional conflict. The role and responsibility of consultant and contractor are clearly defined, which reduce misunderstanding and dispute. Lastly, the employer has better quality control over the project. The client can monitor and approve the design and project requirement before the construction starts. Overall, design build provides better project control, clear responsibility, and more accurate planning. Besides the advantage, the design build method also has several disadvantages. The first disadvantage is slow project delivery. This is because design build follow a sequential process where each stage must be completed before the next stage begins. As a result, the overall project duration becomes longer. Another disadvantage is the higher risk of dispute. The separation between design and construction may create communication problems and misunderstanding between parties. This can lead to claims and project conflict. Another disadvantage is contractors are not involved during the design stage. Because of this, particular construction suggestions from the contractor may not be considered early in the project. Lastly, the change after the tender stage are usually expensive and time-consuming. Any variation may increase project cost and delay the construction process. Overall, although the design build provide clear project control, it may result in slower delivery and less flexibility during the construction.
Next, I will pass it to WARDINA. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank Anis. My name is WARDINA and I will continue about a Build Operate Transfer BOT. A Build Operate Transfer BOT contract is a public-private partnership PPP model in which private company is responsible for financing, designing, constructing, and operating an infrastructure project for a specific concession period in order to recover its investment and generate profit before transferring the project back to the government. This BOT is commonly used for a large-scale infrastructure projects such as highways, airports, railways, and water treatment plants. To understand how this works, let's look at the three culprits. First, we have build. This is where the private sector designs and constructs the project using its own funds. Next is operate. The company manages the facility, ensuring efficiency and profitability through user fees or tolls. Finally, there is the transfer phase. Once the contract ends, ownership is handed back to the government in good condition. This process involves three players: the government as the owner project or grantor, the private company as the concessionaire, and the banks or lenders who provide the necessary financial backing. This is BOT process flow. First, the government identifies a project that needs infrastructure development such as highways, airports, or water treatment plants. Next, the project is open for tender and a private company wins the concession agreement. After that, the company secures project financing through loans or private investors. Then, during the design phase, the company prepares technical plan based on project requirement and standards. Once the design is approved, the construction phase begins where the infrastructure is built with a proper quality and safety management. After construction, the company operates and maintains the project to ensure efficient performance. At the same time, revenue is collected from users to recover costs and generate profit. Finally, at the end of concession period, the ownership of the project is transferred back to the government in good condition. There are 5 advantages of BOT. First, cost efficiency. It reduces the burden on taxpayer because the government doesn't have to pay a massive bill upfront. Second, expert involvement. We get the best mind in the private sector to handle complex engineering. Third, it improves quality because the company has to maintain the asset for years. They use better materials to save on long-term repairs. Fourth, we see a significant time savings due to private sector efficiency. And finally, it provides an innovation boost, bringing in the latest technology to improve the overall user experience. However, BOT isn't without its hurdles. The initial setup costs are high because of the intense planning and legal work required. The contracts are complex and require deep legal expertise to navigate. There are also funding challenges, as securing long-term loans can be difficult in a shifting economy. Furthermore, regulatory hurdles and policy change can impact how the project operates. Lastly, there is financial uncertainty. If not enough people use the facility, the company might not meet its revenue goals.
Thank you, Wardina. Next, I'm SITI BALQIS and I will continue with the main comparison between Design Bid Build or DBB and Build Operate Transfer known as BOT. In DBB, the design and construction process are separate while BOT integrates the entire project under a private company for better efficiency. In terms of financing, DBB is mainly government funded whereas BOT is funded by the private sector. Besides that, project fees in DBB are mostly borne by the government, while BOT transfer most risk to the private sector during the concession period. For operation, DBB projects are managed by the government after completion, whereas BOT projects are privately operated before being transferred back to the government. Lastly, DBB is suitable for short-term projects such as schools and hospitals, while BOT is more suitable for long-term infrastructure like highway and rail system. Next, the standard form of contract for DBB and BOT. For DBB, the standard contract commonly used is the JKR PWD 203A contract, especially for government construction projects. Under this system, the roles of the client, consultant, and contractor are separate to ensure clear responsibilities during project implementation. Meanwhile, BOT uses a concession agreement under the Public-Private Partnership or PPP framework. This arrangement allows the private sector to handle the design, financing, construction, operation, and transfer of the project. In addition, BOT usually involves a long-term concession period before the asset is transferred back to the government. Therefore, both systems apply different contract approach depending on the project objective and management structure. Next, this slide explains when each system is more suitable to be used. For design bid build, this system is commonly applied to small to medium scale projects where the government requires higher control over the design and construction process. In addition, DBB is more suitable when the project scope is clear and well defined from the beginning. On the other hand, build operate transfer is more appropriate for large infrastructure projects that require high capital investment, such as highways and rail system. This system also involves strong private sector participation in financing, operating, and managing the project throughout the concession period. Therefore, the selection of both system depends on the project size, financial capability, and level of control required. Lastly, this slide shows the case study in Malaysia for design bid build, DBB, and build operate transfer BOT. For DBB, this method is commonly used in government projects under JKR, such as schools and public hospital. In this system, the design must be complete first before construction start. So, the project planning becomes clear and more organized. Meanwhile, BOT is used in large projects such as Plus Expressway Highway. A private company will build, operate, and collect toll before transferring the project back to the government. This method helps reduce government costs for infrastructure projects. Overall, both methods are widely used in Malaysia based on the project needs and management approach. Thanks. Next, I will pass to SYED about conclusion.
In conclusion, the choice between DBB and BOT depends on the project's budget, risk allocation, and complexity. DBB is more suitable for projects that require strict design control, while BOT is better for large-scale infrastructure projects because it involves private funding and transfer risk to the private sector. Overall, this study provides a practical guide to help management choose the most suitable procurement system for their projects. Alright, these are the references that we use for our group presentations. So that's all from us. Thank you very much.